All right, so our group is meeting this evening to do peer reviews of AAPSL Task 4. I've got mine laying here, so I'll just go ahead and start with Danny. Your descriptions of the data were very strong. They have been consistently in every task, so that's nothing new. Well done every time. It's clear that your PLC made all of their decisions on data and school need, and your descriptions about success with this remediation, how it could carry over into first grade, was also a nice touch. That really made me feel like it was a continuum, that this wasn't just going to be some sort of isolated event. And you did include good details from the PLC process. I think the only suggestions I made were to consider elaborating in the resources section, making that a little bit beefier. You could toss in maybe how it was funded, or if you were adding personnel, how they would be paid for, or compensated, or would it be volunteer? Just something to beef that up a little bit. And I did not see any grammatical issues or APA formatting issues. And overall, Task 4 was well organized, a good use of the template, and your sections did flow from one to the next. I think I did toss in there, don't forget to put in an agenda or a picture, because they were being sticklers for that.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
So the second Task 4 I reviewed was Libra. And again, like you have in all of your other tasks, great job showing that your PLC is using data and making decisions based on that data. And you also had a good recap of the learning need that you used as a transition into Task 4. I thought that was really well done, and it made it flow better for the reader. I did say that from your earlier tasks 2 and 3, it feels like in Task 4 somehow your solution ballooned into something bigger than it was before. I didn't know if you wanted to keep tackling that, or if maybe you wanted to cut that back a little bit. You clearly demonstrate the ability to lead your PLC. The reasoning process you use is very clear. And also good use of the template, making sure that grammar issues, there weren't any noted. I think some first person did slink in there once or twice, but that's a quick and easy fix. And I think the only other suggestion I had was formative assessments. It was really stressed to us that the formative assessments were to be assessing the adults, not the children. And just verifying that you went back in there somehow and explained how you would be assessing those adults, and making sure that there was some fidelity to your program. But other than that, it was excellent. It flowed nicely. It has a good, strong voice. All of the research was still there. It was still solid. So good job on both counts for Libra and.
Thank you for your feedback, Heather.
No problem. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. All right. I reviewed Heather and Jenny. I'll start with you, Heather. Good job with your introduction. I really liked how you did your introduction. You did an excellent job with research and explanation of what an action plan is. You were very detailed about your action plan, and you did a good job detailing why the action plan is important and needed. I said, nice job aligning your student learning outcomes with MobyMax. I really like how the 3 types of goals, the short-term, mid, and long-term goals were clearly stated. Your action plan connected the use of MobyMax with your shared vision. Something that I really liked also was how using MobyMax connects the school and home. And I thought that's always very important. And if you have parent buy-in, that'll also help with implementation of MobyMax. Your action plan was well written. I didn't notice any errors. Good job transitioning from paragraph to paragraph. I said on a side note, I like the fact that you guys are looking at expanding it to all students and not just the students with disabilities. So overall, I think you did an excellent job. So good job, Heather.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Jenny, you also did a wonderful job with task 4. The purpose of your action plan was clearly stated. Your goals were clearly stated as well and very evident. Good job addressing the content. I especially like how you tied your vision with the district's vision. And I was glad to hear that your admin team was also on board. I felt like you demonstrated great leadership skills by the way you led your PLC in presenting the action plan to your administrators. And you did a very good job. It was written professionally. I didn't notice any grammatical errors and no weaknesses. So good job, Jenny.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll go next. I reviewed Libra's and Danny's. So Libra, I like that you had many different types of data for your goals. You had a great tie-in to your school improvement plan. The students creating their own goals, I felt ensured buy-in from them. That was a really good piece. The needs assessment, I felt, was a really good idea. I think that kind of brings it all together and shows what is needed. All of your areas were addressed well. I didn't notice any weaknesses. Your leadership is very evident in the PLC, and I felt like it was very organized. It was a great job, as it has been the whole time.
Thank you.
Danny, the info on your action research was great, I felt. It was very concise and noteworthy. The timeline for the tutors is interesting. The slides that you have show intentional work and a need for closing the gap. I didn't notice any weaknesses, but I was curious about what the admin thought about the process. Your leadership is very evident. The responsibility of the candidate to invest in tutors for the program is very clear. It's very organized, didn't notice any weaknesses, I already said that. So very good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So then I guess it's my turn. And I'm going to start with Heather. The content of your task was clearly aligned to the material of the course. The narratives were clearly written and expressed the topics given in the task description. Everything was very well written. The explanation of your short-term, midterm, and long-term goals was a strength. I felt like you had really explained, you explained it underneath the heading, but then you went back and further explained it in the next part. So it was very well explained. Like I could see how in the short term, these actions were going to happen, but in your long term would be going to the whole school. So it was very good. I didn't really find any weaknesses in any of the parts of your task. I thought it was all very well done. It was evident that when issues arose during the PLC that you were able to help the group come to a solution to the problem. So when there was a little bit of conversation about, well, if we pull these EC students out of the classroom and have them go into a computer lab or an area to do MobyMax, they're going to be isolated from their class room more than what they would be, just in their regular IEPs. And what IEPs need to be updated to show the time that they're going to be out of the room with Moby Mac. How are we going to make this part of the program work for our EC students? And you guys came up with using not just the EC students, but other students who are struggling in these areas to keep from just pulling the EC students by themselves and isolating them into this program. So I thought that was a really good strategy, so that IEPs didn't have to be updated and all that work didn't have to be waylaid, and time wouldn't have to be wasted. They could go ahead and start the program and the process. The language was good. The structure was correct. I didn't see any grammatical or structural problems, and the citations were very good. So, and as always, Heather, you do a wonderful job. Thank you for being part of our group, because I look to you a lot of times when I'm not sure what to do. I'll say, what did Heather do? So you provided some guidance for me, so I really do appreciate that.
Well, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it as well.
And Jenny, I also looked at your paper, and the content that you presented in this task was aligned and to the course. The strength of your paper, I thought, was your specific activity section, where you were clearly explaining what each group should be doing to implement the program at the school, and how it mirrored your graphic organizer, like, to a T. So you were clearly explained what you meant by this, and then when I look at your graphic organizer, that's exactly what's laid out in those sections. So it was very, very well done. Didn't notice any weaknesses really in the paper either. The narrative, through the narrative of the task, it was evident that you were a leader of the group. You even presented your PLC plan and talked to the superintendent about your plan. That was very good. There were some minor suggestions about wording and one little mistake, and I sent that. I will send that in an email to you, but I did show it to you earlier today. Organization was perfect and citations were correct. You did a really good job. So I'm very proud of our team. I think we've really worked hard on our AAPSL.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, Heather and Jenny, for looking at my paper as well.
Yes.
Well, all right. If everybody feels good about task 4, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight, and we'll go work on task 5.
Yay.
Okay. Thanks, ladies.